Hey guys, so in this video we're going to be sharing with you the best and most detailed 4-2-3-1 formation breakdown you have ever seen. This has been one of the most popular formations in FIFA for many years, and if you are keen on using the 4-2-3-1 this year as your formation, then you need to see this video. As always, to show your support, please hit the like button, subscribe, but more importantly hit the notifications bell so that you know exactly when new content is released. So here is exactly what we'll be covering in this video. So let's get right to it. So, as we said with the 4-2-3-1, this has been one of the most popular formations in FIFA for a long time, and it is easy to see why. It's a really solid and compact formation that is really great to play a fast possession-based game, and it's also really difficult to break down. The DMs provide incredible protection in front of the defense, and it has that 4 in front that can get the better of any defense when set up correctly. Secondly, like we just touched on, this is a great formation for those who like to play possession, has a lot of players really close together, which allows you to be able to play a lot of give and goes and quick 1-2 passes due to the triangles available. You can pair this with fast build up, for example, and it becomes really deadly in the attack. And lastly, this is a really great formation to hold on to leads with. If you're 2-1 up late in a champs game, for example, this formation is super compact and really hard to break down, which can make it really difficult for your opponent to break you down. This is partly due to how the formation is set up, with the DMs in front making passes in between the lines almost impossible, and thus frustrating your opponent. So let's move on into our tactics that we decided on for this 4-2-3-1 formation. Starting off with the defensive style, we chose balanced as this is a formation we want to control the game in, so we don't want to press pulling apart our players and leaving space for our opponents to exploit. And then moving on to the defensive width, we chose 50, as at the moment this is a bit of a constant with most of our formations, and this is due to the fact that there's a lot less threat with the ball being out wide at the minute, with crossing, for example, not being super overpowered. We like a compact middle, and it offers any space out wide is better than having space in the middle. Through balls are quite weak at the minute, so we just prefer to have the middle of the pitch on lockdown and just allow space out wide instead of in the middle of the pitch. With depth, we settled on 65, and like we said in a previous video, as we got more comfortable with the game, we would push this higher, and as we're more confident in possession, we decided to choose a higher depth to be able to pin our opponent in and dominate just like Manchester City do. This high line very rarely causes any issues, but we are comfortable in our defending abilities that it was worth the risk. Moving into the build-up play, we chose fast build-up because we really like to dominate possession in this formation, and as we alluded to with the passing triangles, the quick, fast, sharp passing is very effective in this formation, and it's something we really want to exploit. But again, very rarely did this leave us exposed, and as long as you have the right personnel, it was never really an issue for us, but you do really need to take care of the ball in midfield. With chance creation, we went for possession, as there's a very good reason for this, and that's because direct passing is quite weak at the moment in our opinion, because we feel that through balls are really poor. What happens quite a lot is your attackers make good runs in behind, but the ball never seems to get to them. It's always under hit or it's always intercepted, and that's just the way it is at the moment. So we decided that it makes counter attacks really easy, so we didn't want to risk that. So we just chose possession, and it allows us to just cut through our opponents really easily, but in a different way, but still really effective. And with offensive width, we chose 60 because in this formation, you do need to give yourself a little bit of width to be able to use the wide attackers. You just need the width to be able to pull open a little bit of space for the other players to be able to exploit. But it is really important to not go too wide on the width, and this will open up your midfield way too much. And as we touched on earlier, you want to keep that center of the pitch really tight and compact to not give up too many chances. And then for players in the box, we chose 6 because we do want our instructions to dictate where the players go. You just need to make sure those wide cams do get in there in the box. And then when it comes to corners, we do leave it on 3, although heading doesn't seem to be too great from direct corners. So you can leave this on 1 if you feel like you want to be in a better position to deal with any counter attacks. Now, before we continue, if you want us to continue to make more videos like this, then make sure you hit the thumbs up button and comment right now down below with your questions and thoughts on what other formations you'd like us to cover going forwards. We are in the middle of making a lot, so we do see your comments. So let's get straight back into it and jump into the instructions we decided on for the 4-2-3-1. Now, as with all of our goalkeepers, we like to have comes for crosses, and it gives us a great advantage when people look to whip balls in from the wide of the box or from corners. We also like to have our keepers on sweeper keeper, but again, it depends whether or not you control your keeper manually from these situations, then these instructions would be irrelevant. When it comes to key attributes, for us, reactions and reflexes and height are really the only things you need to be interested in for goalkeepers. The rest of the stats aren't too important, especially when the AI is controlling them. So moving into the fullbacks, the fast build-up tactic can mean that on occasion the midfield can get emptied. So it is important that the fullbacks do stay back and give that protection and just be able to hold up the attackers and allow those mids to track back and get into position. An alternate way to play is to have the fullbacks on balance and then have the DMs on stay back. But either way that you choose to play, you do need to have one staying back and one can go forward. Some of the key attributes you want to look for when choosing to play who plays at fullback, you do want to have mainly good defending stats, good physical, and also some good short passing, because most of the passes, they're going to be player short passes into that midfield. Now moving into the centre backs, of course, they're going to be on stay back while attacking, which is pretty obvious. And then when it comes to key attributes, of course, pace is going to be really important that a lot of people look towards. But as you know, we really like high reactions and composure with our centre backs, as we feel they're really key stats to good defenders in this FIFA. And of course, you want high defending stats such as interceptions, but also defensive awareness and aggression can be really important when the AI is in control of the player. Now moving into the CDMs, like we said with the fullbacks, there are two ways you can play. You can have them on stay back or getting forwards. We chose to have them on balance this time around because we want them to be part of that build-up with obviously that fast build-up. We still want them to be able to cover the centre and cover the passing lanes, but box-to-box midfielders are really ideal for this role that we're going to be playing. And again, it depends. If you want to play the more defensive role, then you need out-and-out defensive mids. But in this case, the key stats you want to look for, of course, you want good stamina with the amount of running they're going to be doing. And of course, you want good interceptions for when they're in that defensive shape. But all passing stats such as vision, short pass and long pass are also vital because of the role they're going to play in possession and build up. So now moving into the cams, for the central cam, we decided to have him on free roam because he's really important to link up with the striker and also go beyond the striker at times. Whereas the wider cams don't need to be on free roam because we do want them to stay a little bit wider and provide some width on the wings. And the problem is when they're all on free roam, they can get in each other's way, which can cause real big issues when attacking and also for your defensive shape. So we chose to have those guys not on free roam. Some of the key stats that you want to look for all of the cams are high dribbling across the board, good short passing stats because of those quick fast passes in and around the box and the little passes they'll play in behind. But for the wide cams especially, you need to have good pace so that when the ball goes up the wing, they have the pace to be able to deal with it. And now finally, as we move into the strikers, their sole job is to put the ball in the back of the net. So we do need to have these guys on stay central and get in behind because we do need to threaten the defenders in behind with some pace. And it just creates some space in front of the defenders for the likes of the central cam and the wide cams to be able to exploit. And the link-up play between the central cam and the striker is vital to the success of this formation in attacking zones. So that is something to be mindful of when selecting players in these positions. And when it comes to attributes, of course, high shooting is of extreme relevance. But we also like to have strikers that have a 4-star weak foot. We feel confident in those attacking situations on either foot. And pace is something that a lot of people are going to look towards, but it's not essential for this FIFA at the moment. And as always, we like to have high composure and reactions on our striker because that just allows us to feel more comfortable when we get chances, and especially those clutch chances in those tight games. So that is it for the 4-2-3-1, and we really enjoy this setup and how fun it was. We found that it was super difficult for our opponents to be able to break us down in open play, yet they had very limited success on the counter as we were able to control games exactly like we wanted. And all in all, this formation was absolutely brilliant and we know that you guys will love it. So as we said earlier in this video, if you want us to continue to make more detailed formation videos like this one, then we do need your support. So be sure to smash the like button and make sure you do subscribe and turn on those notifications bells. But also make sure you go and check out our Twitter and TikTok if you want to see even more FIFA content from us. And if you do want to ask us any questions on FIFA 23, make sure you join our Discord, which is down in the description to all of these links to all of our social media. So thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next one.